Hello everybody, I'm Dune, and this is another episode of Factorio Megabase. Right now I've kind of been configuring settings, trying to get, obviously the ultimate stream set up. Last episode we worked on another new type of outpost. This is our rocket fuel outpost. This outpost is pretty slick, or complex, whichever you want to call it. Take crude oil and make rocket fuel. That's all it does. Crude oil to rocket fuel. Well, technically not all it's doing. Obviously, you got to have refinery into petroleum, light fuel, and heavy. Or oils, light oil, heavy oil, petroleum gas. And then with the most optimal way, light oil is the most efficient in making solid fuel, which is the ingredient for rocket fuel. So we're not cracking any of the light oil, but we are just converting petroleum into solid fuel as well. It's not the most efficient use, but I really don't want to be like, okay, well, we're going to ship off the petroleum from this as well, and then we'll have to figure out, okay, well, then we need more light oil, and this thing, crude oil in, rocket fuel out. That's it. To keep it simple. We want petroleum. Well, then we have our petroleum facility outpost, which is crude oil in and petroleum out. Crack all the light oil, crack all the heavy oil, and that's it. Keep it simple. Because otherwise you end up with something, wherever it is, near here. We have crude oil in. We actually have some heavy oil in. We got some petroleum going out. We've got lubricant going out. But really, this whole facility was for making plastic. So it got complicated. It's, so we came up with a new plastic outpost. It is simply petroleum in and plastic out. Well, I suppose petroleum and coal, since coal is a necessity requirement for plastic. But that's it. Keep it simple. So we got, petroleum from our new petroleum outposts and plastic coming out. And it's efficient. We got 400,000 on hand, and it's keeping up with our requirements. So that is my, reasonings for, people would probably be saying, easily say, well, you really should, ship out that petroleum elsewhere. Well, do it your way, at your base. I'm trying to keep things simple. I mean, when you've got a base my size, I don't really want to go the spaghetti route. Try to be the most efficient in every single situation. I've got the oil. Make it all into petroleum, or make it all into rocket fuel, or what have you. Just do it. So that's that. After last episode, I noticed a couple problems. One is, we had some petroleum and light fuel on this side, kind of cross-contaminating, and I had changed one of these chem plants to using that petroleum to get it out of the pipe, and then I'd forgotten about it. So offline I fixed that. I also probably forgot some, I know I'd forgotten some productivity modules here about somewhere. So I fixed those. And I don't think I've really done anything else. This last weekend, mostly been playing Assassin's Creed Origins. But most of my followers like Factorio, and in fact, I love Factorio. It's one of my favorite games. So, it's definitely time to do some Factorio. What we are working towards, and we're probably not going to get, even though we did build a space science outpost, is a basically an outpost to do research. You know, take this kind of setup and train in science and put it somewhere where we can basically duplicate that whole setup. I don't know why I would zoom in here. It wouldn't help anything. But, you know, take this facility, take these trains, and create a replicatable science system. I mean, this is somewhat replicatable because, you know, we could just blueprint that baby and bring in train loads of science. What we didn't have the ability to do is train loads of space science because we are still using the space science on our main bus. Some of this has been outpost created. We've got the rocket control units and we've got the low density structures available on outposts. But we are missing the abilities to really do satellites in high production, put them on a train, and bring them in. Or we could build them on site, kind of like I've done with, you know, Yellow Sciences, less of my outpost structure, and said, okay, what do we need to make the Yellow Science, and do that. Hey, Gold. Nice to see you, sir. Welcome. We also did that with artillery shells. My artillery outpost is basically a bus all to itself just for artillery shells. You know, brought in the supplies necessary to do that and did an artillery shells outpost. And that supplies all our, you know, artillery outposts, these things out here. And this train's having problems. I do not know why, but it refuses, even though it's on automatic, it refuses to leave. It's almost like I gotta delete this guy and start over. When he's empty, he should go here, and he's not doing it. Anyways, thanks for the follow there, Gold. Really appreciate it. Is Factorio your interest? Right. Yeah, I'm just actually talking about rocket science, and it's a definite learning thing. Yes, Factorio's freaking amazing, and it just gets better. Like you launch your first rocket, and then you launch your second, and if you look at the upper left-hand corner on this map, I've launched over 12,000 of them. It's, you know, after a while, it kind of be routine, and you don't pay attention to that part anymore. You just continue to launch them. Sort of at first, when I was first learning Factorio, I kind of I ignored the space science aspect. I just was trying to survive. I mean, fending off biters. In fact, you know, I was kind of late to embracing lasers. I kind of tried to do everything with turrets, shooting bullets, and I was getting overrun. And turns out lasers are actually quite helpful. And so are flame turrets. A lot of people really like the flame turrets in there. So there's definite different avenues you can go to do the same thing. So one of the things, moving on, for accumulators, I need accumulators for satellites. Satellites have blue chips, which I have outposts for. I have low density structures outposts, now rocket fuel outposts, solar panel outposts. Radars, super simple. I don't need an outpost for that. Though it wouldn't be hard to make. It's just like iron and circuits or something like that for iron gears and circuits for radars. I could create an outpost for that. I mean, it would be ridiculous, but at the same time, it could be done. but it's accumulators. I need some accumulators. SK is small now too. Trying to figure out these inputs because I don't understand how constant when they are labeled with a liquid. They probably are just using it as a placeholder. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to delete the constant combinator when you've brought in your liquid. So for instance, let's see, I'll just throw up some pipe in. So you have a pipe here, and then at the one end of it you have this constant combinator, and it's just showing, in this case, a petroleum. You're not actually supposed to do the petroleum. I mean, if through the constant combinator, all it's doing is saying this pipe is for petroleum, and then once you get petroleum to that section, say you have this, and this is your petroleum line. As soon as you're ready to connect up, you right-click off the constant combinator and connect in, and then petroleum goes down the line and does everything the mall wants petroleum for. Did that make sense? Sometimes people will, instead of a constant combinators, they would do, the purple inserter. Oops. Let's add some power so it doesn't blink. And they'll do a filter inserter for, say, solid fuel, or, plate goes this direction. And they can do two, like say it was supposed to be plate and gears, so they'll do plate and gears, and then you're supposed to, whoops, but you wouldn't do it on pipe, you would do it on a belt. It'd be like this, and they're saying they want, gears on one side and plate on the other. Kind of like plate that way. I don't have a handful of gears, but I could, craft a few. So that's what something like that would mean, or they did that with a constant combinator the same way. And as long as you put both those items on that belt, the mall items would make those things. I've kind of thought about it. You mean I've thought a couple ways. Joining a multiplayer session that other people are doing, and then people on my stream could sort of team up on somebody else's map. Explosive Gaming does a wonderful job of hosting games, or doing one on my own. Yeah, I haven't done it. No, I haven't. But it's something I've thought about doing if there was enough interest. In fact, this map began itself as a multiplayer map. But pretty much once it got about this big, most of the multiplayer, most of the other people just bailed and really never came back. So I've been doing it all by myself since. Let's see here. So for accumulators, I'm going to need a battery outpost. It's really that's my hurdle for that. So we need to create a battery outpost. And what would be the right strategy? Batteries are simply chem plants. I know I have a chem plant outpost somewhere, and I'm trying to think of what that is. Yes. And then you'll need more iron, and then you'll need more copper, and then you'll need more Yeah, this is a green circuit outpost of mine. But this is megabase size, not what you're dealing with. What you're probably wanting is something more on this order of something like this. For your lower, for your smaller base. As you can see, this isn't working, or I mean, it's not that it's not working, it's just not operating. It's because, I have all my circuits actually coming in by train down here. Sort of, this was, what it all was at one point. And in fact, I have a third one down here. And all this did was supply my blue circuit build, since it's 20 green circuits to one blue circuit. But now I also bring blue circuits in by train. Brain is not telling me what it is that I'm looking for. And non-electric miners. How about blue chips? No. No. That is using a liquid, but it's not what I'm looking for. How about plastic? Plastic's what I'm looking for. It's all chem plants. So chem plants to make yes, it's chem plants, but I will also need copper and iron for batteries, and a whole ton of sulfuric acid. I do create the sulfuric acid on my main bus right here. I should label that. But got quite a bit on hand. Might be enough to supply batteries. I mean, at first it would probably drain all this dry, but it would build up again. Sulfuric acid is simply something like this. So yeah, well, if I don't need the outpost, I'm not going to make it. Probably someday, though. Alright, so probably will do batteries somewhere down here. Covering these things up, but I don't need them anymore. How's this doing? So this was outpost. Oh, it's already finished. Okay, so we could build right there. Is that the right place for that? Could kind of do it here. For some reason I rejected that for space science. Oh yeah. Has nothing to do with what I need. Is that right? Batteries. No water needed. Just sulfuric acid, iron plate, and copper plate. So I got iron plate, copper plate. tricky part will be the sulfuric acid. I could make a outpost for that. Hate building in this area. I haven't really started to mine it yet. I got one coal plant. Is this empty yet? Did you guys pick that up yet? My coal trains all have the same coal name. So they just go to whichever one's closer, and they probably find this one more attractive than this one for whatever reason. It's always tough deciding where to build an outpost. You know, this is actually not a bad idea. Red science is probably never going to be upgraded. Low density structure, yeah, it's a good chance, but I can build it out this way. So let's build an outpost right here. And batteries, because that's actually rather close to both copper and iron. Alright, so to basically copy plastic, but we're going to need a couple more train stops built inside it. This is quite the blueprint. I wonder if I just copy all this. I didn't take that track. Yeah, it's not going to be a, yeah. No, can't quite do it like that. Because this is going to need 2 more train things in it, so it's not an exact duplicate. We can copy some of it though. We'll just do out to there. But yeah, so this takes coal. So all we need to do is add 1 train spot for either copper or iron. And we can start assembling all this. 108 chem plants. Let's just hit up. Well, one of the things you probably want to pick up are these balancers books. I mean, I've modified mine slightly, but basically, you know, you can, probably the most common one is what's called the 4-to-4 balancer. Just takes 4 lanes and balances them together. Just show you an example. I mean, this is it right here. You can't quite tell because everything coming in is full and everything going out is full. But basically, it's this here. You got 4 lanes coming in, or you got 3 lanes coming in, and then it balances all out to 4 lanes going out. This is actually missing a couple parts, but it's working as is, so I'll leave it alone. But the balancers, they're super helpful. You know, if you want to do, say, 6 lanes and output 7, then you would use something like this. Or you want to do, you know, 5 to 6, or, you know, 5 to 8. You got 5 coming in, but you want it to go 8 different ways. You would use something like this. Things like that. Helps for loading trains, or for, you know, say you've got I'll show you as soon as we gain stuffs. You know, you got an outpost or not that one. How about this one? Okay, so you have, in this case I had 5 lanes, 3, 4, 5, and I just sent one into the back of the other, and then all of them comes to a 4-lane balancer. So when a train shows up, you can't, I mean right now all these chests are full, but when the train shows up, you know, say it picked up mostly out of this lane, then you know, well, here's an example. Here comes the train. You'll see it all start to work here in a second. So all this stuff coming in this way is getting evenly split to all 4 inputs here. And as you can see, this lane here is slightly uneven. Well, you can see that some of that slightly uneven is coming out this other 2 lanes instead of just strictly out this way. That way, like, if this completely emptied out, here I can kind of show you that. If I do that, that stops that. But, you know, even though I block 3 lanes, you can see that this one lane is supplying equally to all these other 4 lanes. And that's what a balancer does for you. So picking up these balancer books on Factorio blueprints, you just look up balancers and I'm sure they're there. I picked them up through multiplayer game, but that's what you do. Those are really good blueprints to have. You'll use them in pretty much every game you ever play. And the 4-lane balancer is probably the most, it's my opinion, the most popular. And then there's other tricky things, and I'm not going to go into them right now. I mean, it's kind of advanced topics, but there's definite things like, I mean, if you want to balance the inputs on equal sides of the belt, you know, like you got a belt of iron, but it's only coming in on one side. You know, obviously you could do this, right? That makes them equal. But if you have them coming in like this, and they're only going to be used off, say, this side here, but you want both sides to be used. Let's add some more to that. Here's what's called the 1-lane balancer. Like I said, it's a rather advanced topic, but it's not going to be in normal blueprint books. You can do it like this. And then, so even though it comes out looking relatively the same, it's really hard to demonstrate it without kind of cheat some of this. Here, I'll show you. So now I can have, let's say, a chest that only pulls off one side. It always pulls off the closest side. So it's always pulling off the closest side. But if you look at the top, it's pulling off both sides evenly. Even though this left side's not moving down here, the top side, both sides are being pulled from evenly. So you got balancers in those situations. It's a, like I said, it's an advanced topic, but you can do things like that too. I mean, I got a whole ton of them. Some of them I've made myself. Some of them, you get from others, like, using pipes. Often you want a T intersection pipe, so I've made my own blueprint for that. And maybe you want 3 tanks in a row with some pumps. You can do that. And I've already got them wired up. The tank's wired up. Or maybe, whoops, shoot. I didn't want to pull up that. Maybe instead of doing 3 tanks, you want to do 5 tanks. So having a blueprint set for things like that. And, even though if the pumps are going the wrong way, you can rotate them. I don't mind. I don't mind the questions. No, not higher throughput, but higher liquid pressure. Let me see if I can find one that can demonstrate it. It's going to be in one of my fuel. Not going to be there. So here is crude oil flowing in. This tank is empty. This tank is nearly full, and this one is full. By having these pumps, if you didn't have the pumps in there, all 3 tanks would be at the same level. So this is at 22, this is at 25, this is at 0. So it would average out to about 66%. But because this is full, because of the pump only is one directional, it's making sure that all the fluid flowing from this tank is at maximum pressure, 100%. Where if they were equal, then it'd only be at 66%, and it might not get all the way down to the end. So I do all my tanks that way now, mostly. For example, back at that outpost, I have these tanks that are being filled from these plants, and they pump into these tanks. So when a train shows up, they're at 100% ready to go to load up the train, even if the back tanks aren't full. I use circuits and all sorts of stuff to try to make sure they all load evenly, and that's definitely advanced subject for if you want to know more about it. I do have a Circuits Explained series. There's not a whole lot of episodes to it, but some of it is explained. I came over here to grab chem plants, so I don't keep a lot on hand. Let's take 100 of those babies. And what else do I need? A whole ton of pipe, of course. Mostly straight pipe. But tanks. Do I have pumps? Yes, I have pumps. Let's top off my pump stack. Modules like 300 of each. Ton of beacons. Chess. Probably a ton of inserters. Oops, I don't need these refineries anymore. Did I take that on my blueprint book? I don't know where that came from, but okay. How many beacons do I got? 60. I'm sure I'm going to need a lot more. Yeah, 140 or so. $300, 250 inserters actually. It's gonna be 250. Chess, 150 each. How many do I got? Oh, I'll probably be on for at least another hour and a half. Well, actually, I'll probably be online most of the evening. For at least, I'll probably be doing some Assassin's Creed later. But I'm going to be on for a while. Probably don't need a stack of those in there, but we'll set them in there. Otherwise, bots. That's something I don't have room for. Is 1,000 bots. All right, Gold. Thanks for coming by, and we shall catch you the next time you stop in. And thanks for following me. Alright, so heading for, I need another waypoints up here. Let's head for this one. S32S. Why are you going that way, train? Can't make a right turn there, yeah. Right. I don't know. Okay, let's set up a waypoint. Copy this one, place it there, change it to east. Add some signals. Copy that. Yes. Wait. Well, that train's following me. That's unfortunate. For it. Oops. There's a train coming, but it's not coming this way yet, anyways. Alright. So we basically need something like so. Might not have stuck it up far enough. Just have to take out this track. I'll just... And we'll put that back down with one extra space. There we go. Alrighty. Hopefully this is enough room, honestly. Yeah, it should be. How's that set up over here? Okay, it's coming in there. Oh, I see. Doesn't have the stack. Well, it does have the stacker before it. So the stacker is on this side. Didn't quite work the same though. I think we're going to have to start that over. Two different. Might be able to use some of it. essentially doing something like that. Something like so. But maybe like this. These signals will all be in the wrong place, so I'll just strip them out. And these stations will all be in the wrong place. I'll get on this side. Some trees. This will all be. What I need is some track now. Switch server. Rapid charging. This is going to be battery station. And normally I like to put the station on the inside, but actually I will change this up a little bit. We will do that. Chess. And I'm out of inserters. Set this to everything equals 0. So when the train fuel equals 0, doesn't matter what type you use, it'll activate. We will set this though to train fuel unload. Don't want this yet. We want that in the middle. Put the 2 inputs on either side. Probably going to need to rip up all that wood. So these will probably be in the wrong place. Pull that up. All right. So we want a 3 input, or no, a 2 input system like green circuits. Let's just grab that. There's an error on the side of inputs from the right. Okay. Then we'll want to take this and duplicate it on the other side. So we need the plastic. And I guess that's top side. No, I think we need, well, it's, I guess they're loading from this both. Need all that. Don't want the radar. Don't want this piece of track. And something like so. Walk-X are slow when you have a blueprint out for some reason. And my neighbors with the really loud car. I think I set that up on. Even though it fits, they're not even there. More of this wood. Let's empty some of that. Trying to get these tanks even up to see better. Oh. I don't want any of this. It's hard to eyeball it when it's off to the side like this. Actually, kind of an easy way to do this. Whoops. Just kind of walk it up there. Still wants to skew. Don't move the mouse. Don't move the mouse. So we just do that. Two spaces up and rotate it. One, two. Bingo. Okay. And we just need all this stuff. And more wood and rock. Let's grab some robots. More robots. And even more robots. I don't get why these guys don't have power, but they don't. Power poles would help, I suppose. Beacons, modules, power poles, beacons, chests, sorters, modules. Alright, so that will be batteries. Please tell me you don't need water. Good. That's pretty sure, but probably switch armor now. Most of that's built. Okay, and then these, we're going to need that. down. We're out of requester chests. Guess we got one over here, don't we? Are we on that? More of these. Did I finish pasting those? No. Whoops. We're short on provider chests. Doesn't make sense. And why does this chem plant not have requester chest? This is strange. I would have brought everything. Brought 250 inserters. And yet I'm short on inserters. Well, I guess we're going to have to go back. I'm going to check the plastic up here. Is there a chem plant that's missing inserters? Yes, this one is. So it's not working at all. Really strange. Is there a similar one on this side? No. Okay, well, I copied that from down here. Is there another chem plant down here that doesn't have? Yes. Oh my goodness. This whole time that thing's never been working. I mean, look at how much these other things have almost made 1 million each. And that thing's never made one. So sad. Alright, well, one little fix. Overlook. It's been duplicated. And finally that error's caught. Where am I? Here. Okay, so these are probably all in the wrong spot. We want this roughly in the middle. Pumps off 3 and 4. And 5 and 6. Somewhere over here for that one. Overkill. But that might not connect. Oh, it does. Okay. guess that guy can be here. Which means that guy can be skewed. Actually, he's already got signals. It's really hard to tell. We need to get a train in there. Which I do have 4 fuel cars, cool. I need 4 more though. And 4 more engines, which I can't quite make. I don't think I have anything named BT, do I? Let's make that BT for battery load. BTSA unload. Get some trains in here to verify that's all working. Might not be able to do that. Let's put a chain signal before a stacker. Probably should have that fuel train on the way now. It's actually more compact than I thought it would be. Let's call this one. I don't want to enable disable it. Let's name this BT copper load. BT iron unload. So we're going to need 2, 4, really 5 new trains to power this thing up. We'll start with this one. some. What's this thing called? BT SA unload. BT SA unload. Let's just call it circuit condition for the moment. I want to make sure these pumps and all that hook up. Okay, good. Oops. Don't want it as, as narrow as possible to get everything. So in case you put stuff over here, they don't overlap. Should have a signal. Let's see this. For some reason, this guy wasn't able to go. Oh, because I was occupying the track. Right, this should have signals. Let's go down here. Good. Whereby these pumps all attach. Because when you, I think it's harder when you got a vertical train to do that. Should have a signal on this side. Put that down a little further as this guy pulls out. Signals will flow. All good. Now we need to add SA load. Inventory full. Oh, we should copy that. And we need to get some trains going on that. Just on the off chance we want to come back here. PT station. Quite likely. Why did you come around? It's a long way. I do not know. What are you still wanting here? Inserters, right? Inserters, chests and stuff. Okay, we do need to come back. Forgot about that. In fact, we need a few more things here. Alright, we need to launch a few trains. I need 4 more tankers. Probably want an extra one of those, but I imagine once this thing gets going, I probably won't need that many batteries, at least not for a while. 2 trains ought to be fine. Alright. PT, iron unload, inventory empty. Oh shoot. We're going to need to fix something. Those liquid trains are still on circuit condition for unloading the sulfuric acid. But let's do iron load south. Iron load south, inventory full. Copper unload, inventory empty, and then copper load south, inventory full. Alright, and then we need an actual battery load train. Whoops, let's just put that in motion, even though it won't do anything for a little bit. So BT load. Full. All right. This is batteries. BT batteries. And train. So circuit condition, we want inventory empty. Was it actually empty? No. Add, oops, and inventory empty. And that guy didn't pull away. All right. And the reason why we didn't want them to run away, I forgot we haven't connected these things to this, which is fine. We need to go back there anyways. I'm going to copy my main train to my backup train just in case. Sometimes you start moving around in manual mode and everything, you get crunched by another train. It's good to have a backup of all your stations. Let's check that coal. This thing ever been picked up? No. It's almost like I gotta drive a train there and go, hey, use this coal. Kind of annoying me because it's the top of my yarm list. It's out. These mines aren't mining anymore. Right. Oh my goodness. Is this really that bad? Don't tell me that's a problem over here. Plastic. Must have broke something when I was putting it together. Right. It's not connected quite until we're ready. So unloads evenly. This is not, it's really sulfuric acid. So we're not really using this at the moment, so let's just pick those up. Not really using these either. output. Let's do battery, since we only have one. I don't really need circuit controls on any of these. Hopefully they're working. Train incoming. It's far away. Okay. Oh, well. I was wondering why my trains didn't go all the way around. Well, I mean, why it went all the way around. There might have been a train sitting here, because this doesn't go straight through. Which is fine, I suppose. Do we need a signal there, though? Yeah, I didn't finish some things. These don't have power. It's because I put these right up against. It's not going to work. It's going to be without power. There's really nothing I can do about that. I put these too close. Yeah, I can fix it. It's just going to lose a whole bunch of sulfuric acid. Hide a battery stack. I really wish when you hovered over something it would tell you how high they stacked. I think it's 50. I'm not positive. I'm sure there's at least a stack of stuff. Well, at least it goes 200. So it's 8,000 per car. Welcome back, gold. 8,000 per car is 667. can do though. Probably should move my train up here. All right, I need to leave a space. Let's put my space. That's not going to leave a space. I need to go up one space. Alright, these pipes are going to lock me in, aren't they? Got it. It's not going to work, is it? Yeah, let's do those guys. let's reconnect pipes. Okay. And that's more batteries. Taking a while to load up though. It'll take a while to catch up. But we got, what, 90,000 copper, 60,000 iron. We're good for a while, I think. I think it's mostly the sulfuric acid. It's going to be the big bottleneck. A little bit. Let's see how sulfuric acid's doing. It's got over 200K sitting here, and here it's, yeah, it's used quite a bit. Take a while to fill up. We might need a sulfuric acid outpost. We'll see. For a while, I think sulfuric acid will be kind of minimal, which could affect nuclear production. Well, relatively, I don't think we're hurting for nuclear fuel for a while, but okay, so that's batteries. Accumulators would have to be next. Whole station dedicated to accumulators is way overkill. At the same time, it really doesn't hurt to do it. I don't think I'm going to do it right now. I think I'm going to call it. I think I might, you know, like adding another sulfuric train. It's just going to hurt the system more than help it. Well, you know, a man's got to eat. And things like that, you know, and I've been streaming a couple games, Assassin's Creed in this, and so I'd also like to do Assassin's Creed. You are welcome, Gold. So what's the MK in... I mean, I guess it's like Gold Dude MK, but what's the MK? For your name. Well, I'm on almost every day. Well, you know, except for like weekends or something. I might take a day off or something. It's quite a process to up your production. I mean, going from stuff that's produced off your bus to outposts is actually quite a process. And then keeping, you know, enough iron flowing to places and copper flowing to places. Copper, more copper. Green circuits up the wazoo. I think I got 4 more down here, and, you know, 3 up here. It's almost 400,000 there, times 6, so that's over 2 million green circuits. Oh, that's awesome. So you've been streaming too? I have a friend who was really into the Mario Kart. He actually liked everything Wii. I never did. I get into it. Oh, yes. Let's go fix that plastic station that I noticed the problem for. Actually, it's both plastic stations. Waiting for sulfuric acid. Yes, I knew this was going to be a problem. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need a sulfuric acid outpost. Need some power. Not you making anything. Oh, didn't get it signed. No idea. Plastic station 1. And the batteries thing again. Yeah, it's assigned. Very good. Hasn't made anything though. No, I guess he did. There's out of sulfuric acid. We have a whole lot of sulfuric acid trains sitting here. Well, look at that. All right. We're going to go there and we're going to add circuit condition and change that to an and. This is an oil train. Send that. We're going to just basically disable my station here. Battery station. We're going to have to make a sulfuric acid station. This just can't keep up with whatever, with the new. And that's part of Factorio, is building and breaking. You build something and it breaks something else. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. I'm Dune. This has been another episode of Factorio Megabase. I will be back probably a half hour or to an hour with some Assassin's Creed Origins. Stay tuned.